Welcome, everyone, to the Coach Dustin Goodwin Show, sponsored by Russellville Mayor David Grissom here on WGOL. My name is Kadin Pounders, your host, and I am, of course, here with the head coach of the Russellville Golden Tigers, Dustin Goodwin. Coach, how are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great. Before we get started, obviously, we're going to talk about last week's game and then tonight's matchup against Mars Hill. But Coach Goodwin was announced as a staff member on this year's North staff for the All-Star football game, being played in Mobile later this year in December. Coach, how do you feel about that opportunity?
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be new, not something that I've had the pleasure to do before, and grateful for the opportunity. And I think it'll be neat to be around, some of the top players in the state, and be a good experience.
Awesome. Well, let's look in this first segment. Let's look at last week's game against Deshler. A tough result, a bit of a heartbreaker, losing there at the end, 15-14 to the Deshler Tigers. They scored the go-ahead touchdown with about 5 minutes to go, and got the 2-point conversion to boot. I think you knew everyone knew it was going to be a hard-fought contest given the matchup and the personnel each team had, and it proved to be just that. What were some of your general takeaways from that game?
Well, definitely I knew it was going to be a hard-fought game. That's typically the case in these rivalries or these games where you're so close, traditions are so high, and I thought special teams wise, I don't think we did return the opening kickoff for a touchdown, which got called back, but I don't think we did anything that was really going to help us win the game, but good thing is nothing that was going to hurt us, and make us lose the game. I thought they were solid, nothing great, nothing terrible, and defensively outside of the first play of the game, the quarterback rushing for a long touchdown, and in the last drive of the game, giving up the go-ahead, drive and touchdown, ultimately 2-point conversion. I thought our defense played really well and gave us a chance to be in the game and win the game. And I thought the biggest difference was, and the problem was, offensively we just weren't clean enough to move the football and sustain a drive and put points on the board. The first drive we did after the called back return kickoff. And then the second one, our defense came over with a turnover deep in Deshler's territory, and we were able to get it in. And honestly, it was on a busted play, and so we were fortunate to get that one as well. So definitely have to play cleaner offensively to give us a chance to win.
Defensively, offensively, there were a few players, going into this game, and a lot of players are first-time starters. Didn't have a whole lot of returners coming back, but you had a few guys that really, made their name known last week. Thinking about Connor Devaney, who had over 100 yards receiving. On defense, Darren Jones had 2 interceptions and made an impact in that game. How important is it, or how great is it now that you have these guys who have a game in them and you know what they can do on Friday night and evaluate them? How good is it to see some of these younger guys step up and play?
Yeah, we can judge potential, right? And we work with them in practice and over the summer. But until they get out there and perform at a high level, you never really know, and the world doesn't know. And, fortunately, we had some guys step up and play well last week. You mentioned Darren and Devaney, and Patrick Johnson's another one and that comes to mind. Our linebackers played well, and I was proud of the ones. I was proud of the whole team, honestly. But like I said, the guys on the defensive side, I thought all our receivers caught the ball well. The guys on the defensive side played really well and gave us a shot, and effort wasn't an issue with us last Friday night. But most teams make their biggest leap from week 1 to week 2, and that's what we're looking to do this week.
You talked about it last week, and just now a little bit about this team's effort and their character. Looking down the field last week, after the loss, didn't see a whole lot of heads hanging down. They held their heads high. What did you say to the team after that defeat? And how have you seen the team, kind of regroup after that loss last week, this week in practice?
Well, they were upset. Several of them were visibly upset. They put in a lot of effort to it. I think we had several that were disappointed in their performance. But that's part of it. You don't really know until you know. And having so many new faces on both sides of the ball, we knew there were going to be some growing pains, but I think our youth showed up a little more than we actually wanted it to. So they were disappointed in their performance, and we just challenged them to let it hurt, and think on it for the night and over Saturday. And then when Sunday got here and they came back to work on Monday, it was time to get back to work and refocus and try to learn from those mistakes and grow from week 1 to week 2. So that's what they've been able to do this week. Tuesday wasn't the best day in the world, but we've had a really good second half of the week and are looking forward to seeing us correct those mistakes tonight.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the Coach Dustin Goodwin Show, sponsored by Russellville Mayor David Grissom. We'll be right back here on WGOL. Welcome back to the Coach Dustin Goodwin Show, presented by Russellville Mayor David Grissom here on WGOL. Coach, you kind of talked about how practice went this week. You had a little bit of a false fall and a little bit of nicer weather the last couple days. During the game last week, we saw a couple guys go down with cramps. There, hopefully nothing serious. Are there any injuries or anything with personnel-wise that fans might want to know about with players this week?
No, overall we're pretty healthy. You mentioned the cramp issues, and that's typically the case on a warmer night. And it wasn't terrible. You know, you mentioned the early fall or the fake fall. I hope we have an early fall and the weather stays like it's been the last week or so. And from this point forward, it's been really nice and has allowed us to get outside and work with the guys. And but you know, a lot of those things you talked about, we just preach hydration and nutrition to our guys and how much sleep and rest they're getting, and just you know, ask them to take care of themselves on top of the things that we try to do for them, and hopefully we won't have those issues moving forward.
Preparing for this upcoming Mars Hill game tonight, what is the impression you've got of Mars Hill? You know, they run kind of the wing tee offense, and they've got 3 or 4 guys that are really fast, really speedy. They last week in their opener, they beat Madison Academy 51-27, I believe. Madison Academy no pushover themselves. So what have you seen about with Mars Hill going in this game, and how have you guys prepared for what you're going to see against them?
Well, they're a solid football team. You know, we watched them and Deschler play in the Jamboree game before last week, a couple weeks ago now, and it was a tied ball game at 7-7 at the half, and you know, they were able to come out last week and against I'm assuming a good Madison Academy team and perform well. I think their offense scored every time they touched the ball. So, but their defense was, you know, they gave up some points as well. So it's not one of those steel curtain things to where, or a movable object where you think you can't be successful. So we've studied and broke some things down and hoping to put our players in the best position possible to make plays, and have really challenged our defense to stop a really good offense. And like you said, they have 3 really explosive players that are really fast and athletic, and it's going to take assignment and detailed and disciplined football, and that's what our guys are going to have to do to have a chance to be successful.
What are some of the weaknesses that you guys can exploit? Last week kind of had trouble running the football, but had some success through the air. You know, what's kind of your plan of attack for putting points up against this Mars Hill team?
Well, I believe you need to be balanced. And, you know, as you mentioned, we did have a hard time running the football last week, so we know we have to improve there in order to give us that balance so we can, you know, still get the ball, push the ball downfield, but have consistency in the run game where we can move the chains and throw some things underneath as well. I think we have to do a better job making decisions at quarterback. I think we have to do a better job of blocking in the box and on the perimeter. We had a couple of chances at bigger plays, and a DB slipped off a receiver and tackled us for a good gain instead of an explosive play. And all those little things, you know, add up to a lot when you do them right. So, you know, nothing major from one specific person or group, just challenging everybody to do a little bit better.
Clearly this is going to be a tough game. You know, going up against the defending Class 3A state champions. But you're at home for the first time. First game at Golden Tiger Stadium. How great is it just to be back in the home environment and have the home crowd in this stadium behind you?
Excited to be at home. I think we have one of the best facilities in the state. Our fans generally do a really good job of coming out and supporting our teams, and we hope that they're on their feet and loud, and we're able to give them something to cheer for. But nothing quite like being at home in Russellville Golden Tiger Stadium and listening to the band and seeing all the sights and sounds and everything that football brings, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, Coach, is there anything else you want to add about this team or the players or this matchup tonight?
No, I'm good. Just a great group of kids. We're glad that we were able to work with them, and looking forward to tonight.
Well, thank you for your time, Coach, and obviously good luck tonight against Mars Hill.
Thank you. Go Golden Tigers.
This has been the Coach Dustin Goodwin Show here on WGOL. This show has been presented by Russellville Mayor David Grissom. We hope you'll join us here again next week, same time, same place.